Hello, everyone. It's Stephen Whiteside here from the uptrend.com with your morning market outlook for the last day of March of 2026. Now, this is month end, this is quarter end. They both usually have a bullish bias to it. We are also coming up to a long weekend, which also has a bullish bias to it. So, not surprised to see some buying in the pre market this morning. Of course, some of this buying is around some of the talking points from Trump. It's funny that Rand is coming out with trading advice, giving people trading advice how to trade around Trump's little mini announcements. We also have crude oil and gold trading higher on Tuesday morning, so that could certainly help the Canadian market. The Canadian market drove right up to the upper channel line yesterday, traded well above Friday's highs, but couldn't hold it going into the close. We only closed up 3 cents on the day. Now, the U.S. market, on the other hand, made lower lows yesterday. Remember, yesterday morning we were looking for a close above Friday's high, and we have that open gap to deal with on the S&P 500. So that is still a major area of resistance at the moment. And if we could get up above that, that would be the first sign that something new is happening. And then, of course, we would look for a breakout and a close above the previous week's high. That would be the second thing we're looking for. So there's the equal weighted S&P 500 making a new low yesterday. There's the Nasdaq 100, the equal weighted Nasdaq, and the next generation Nasdaq all making lower lows on Monday. Semiconductors had a bad day yesterday, down over 3%, and the ETF has taken out the recent lows from the past couple of months, and now we're trading back at a level we haven't seen since December. Rambus was a big loser yesterday. We saw losses in Micron and Marvell. We also saw a down day for NVIDIA. Now, NVIDIA has broken down below all the previous areas of support, and it's broken down below all the major moving averages. So now people need new targets to look at, and they're not going to find them on the daily charts. They're going to have to go to the weekly charts. So our next price target on the weekly chart is $150. If you look at the moving averages on the weekly charts, we're now going from daily moving averages to weekly moving averages. You can see last year we drove all the way down to the 100-week moving average, before we found support. So right now the 100-week moving average is just below 150. So that lines up with our previous chart. So that is a reasonable target to the downside if the market wants to keep going from here. Of course, it would be quite hellish if the market had to head all the way down to the 200-week moving average. That would certainly be disastrous for the technology sector. Looking at the world of commodities, we had crude oil and gasoline make higher highs on Monday. Natural gas just spinning its wheels here, down on the day, still on a sell signal, no change there. Now, energy stocks on the TSX were down just a little over 0.5%. At some point, we're going to be moving from the bull ETFs to the bear ETFs. We're not doing that on Tuesday morning. The bear ETF was up just under 1% yesterday. Looking at in New York, the U.S. Energy sector was down just under 1%. The bear ETF was up just over 2%. So these are not going to match perfectly each day. Remember, these are items that you can bid. You can drive up the price, you can drive down the price depending on how much interest there is in a particular ETF. So they don't always match perfectly. But there's the bear ETF up over 2%. So at some point, we'll be flipping from the bull ETFs to the bear ETFs. We're not doing that on Tuesday morning. Looking at the metals, copper miners, copper and copper miners, all still on sell signals right now. The GLD traded up to the lower channel line yesterday. We saw gold stocks in the channel yesterday, whether you're looking at the GDX, the junior gold miners, or the XGD in Toronto. So there's certainly a possibility of a buy signal on Tuesday. Silver holding back a bit. Silver miners starting to trade into the channel. Whether you're looking at the big ones or the juniors, they both traded into the channel yesterday. So mathematically speaking, there is certainly a possibility of a buy signal in the metals on Tuesday. Then looking at palladium and platinum, not as much strength there, but certainly we could see a buy signal on Tuesday in any of the metals. Let's finish off looking at the VIX, and the VIX was down slightly yesterday. The VIX ETFs made new highs. And so in New York, we're reaching for $40.63. In Toronto, we're still reaching for $28.13. Those are the next points, areas that I would want to take some money off the table. Otherwise, we're just going to hold on to the remainder of our position till we get kicked out. Okay, folks, that is all for this morning's presentation. So far, it looks like we're going to see some buying at the open, but maybe just like yesterday, we'll see some selling after the market gets going. Have a great day. Next time you'll hear my voice is on Wednesday morning.
Thanks for tuning in until the very end of today's stock market timing educational video. If you found the content valuable, don't forget to express your support by hitting the like button, leave a comment, sharing with your friends, and subscribing to our channel for more insightful updates. Remember, in the world of stocks, timing is crucial, and following the trend can be your greatest ally. If you would like more information on how we can help you better time the stock market, please visit theuptrend.com.